I think that's radical. I think stalking a child, even if the police told you to leave them alone and you did it and you killed them, Trayvon Martin is radical. I think the assassination of Sandra Bland is radical. And so when I'm seeing all of these radical things happen, you don't get to censor how I express myself about them. So if my words make you uncomfortable, try being uncomfortable with the death of your people every time you open your eyes, right? So if that doesn't make you uncomfortable, I really don't care how you feel about the words that I say to be able to open the minds and hearts of my people, because I think when people are being aggressive and people are hitting you, then you don't get to determine how I fight back.
That's right.
You don't get to determine how I fight back, and I'm not going to do it politely. So for me, again, permission, forgiveness, that's not even something I care to talk about. I'm going to do it, and we're going to sort it out on the other side of it. That's just how I'm living. And I don't think it's radical. I think who I am, to me, is true to who I am. Who you are has to be true to who you are. So you might not do it the way that I do it, but you should be doing something, right? And I don't have the privilege of being hypercritical of the way that you try to liberate folk, because that's why we had all different types of freedom fighters, right? We had one that said by any means necessary, and we had one that said turn the other cheek. I only got two cheeks, so how much turning you want me to do? So you know what I mean? So for me, when is enough enough? How is it that the system isn't criticized, but the person that's reacting to the system is criticized? That's the question, right? I talk about issues because these issues are affecting my everyday quality of living. It's affecting the way my community lives. It's affecting the way my child exists in this world. Why can't I say something about it? And why am I being criticized or radicalized for saying it? I don't think it's radical. I think why I'm speaking about it is the radical part. I don't think we're doing enough. I don't think it's radical enough. If that's your definition of radical.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so for me, I think I know that all of us have an expiration date, right? At some point we're gonna go. And I'd rather go knowing that I was a servant of not only my community, but my people by and large, right? I'd rather go that way.
Yes. Caller, you have a question or comment for our distinguished guests?
Yes, I'm enjoying the show, Sister Khadija, and good afternoon to your guest, Dr. White, if I'm pronouncing her title correctly.
You did.
I really appreciate the last couple of comments that we had when she opened up about oppression. And here's what the subject matter I want to get into for Dr. White. Again, it's refreshing that we have you on. And we just heard a couple of weeks ago, Sister Khadija and I authored a talk show with Sister Khadija on the local radio station and a couple of television shows here on AOC. And one of the things we discussed was the use of the word oppression. It's so amazing, but you could call it amazing that the other race, some of them in South Louisiana, and we have a congressman that we mention all the time by the name of Clay Higgins. And one of the things he did when he was in a bantering back and forth with our sister from Texas, Jasmine Crockett, Congressman Crockett, was that he said basically why they were trying to do away with what you call the DEI programs in the federal government was white folks right now are really feeling oppressed. And he said he, as a white man, is really feeling oppressed. Now, when we have groups are taking these words, Dr. White, and turning them on their head, if we point out what is racism, and we say somebody's being racism, they use that reverse psychology stuff that we thought that would be sounding so ridiculous. But people are actually buying into this, and our own people are buying into this, that we bring up race too much. So when we say somebody is racist, they say, no, you are being racist because we're accusing them of racist. Now, I'm going to get off the air, and I just want to answer this question. The use of the word oppression are we at that point where we are easily fooled as a group, as a race of people, as black folks, when they tell us that we can't say what they're doing to us as racism, and that we are oppressing them because we're calling them out? So that is the thing I want you to see if you want to expound on. Sure. I really appreciate it. I'm really enjoying the show, sister. Thank y'all for taking my call.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Listen, you could put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig, right? And I've never seen a group of people who want to be oppressed so badly, right? Here's what I will say. My answer to that would be this. It's almost comical if it wasn't strategic on his part, because the congressman who he speaks knows what oppression means. There is a certain power and privilege that comes with the ability to be racist, and we don't have it, right? So we're not even going to battle with the Webster definition of racism. I'm just going to tell you there's a certain power and privilege that comes with the ability to be racist. That's why even poor people, white people, can be racist, because they still have the privilege of being white, right?
Right.
You don't have the power nor the privilege to be racist. That's just the bottom line to that. So I don't engage in false conversations. The senator knows what the definition of racism is. He also knows what the definition of oppression means. The heart of the matter is America, with 3 Ks, doesn't want the children of today to know its history, to know its roots.
Yes.
The fabric of this country is rooted in racism. That's what it is. That's the founding fathers that they like to talk about.
Yeah.
Did not write any documents with black folk in mind.
No.
You were still property, right?
3/5.
So please understand that I'm not having a conversation about the definitions of words with people who know the definitions of words. And you can't change my opinion about a pig. Whether you dress it up, put a skirt on it, make it look real nice, it's still a pig.
It's still a thing.
So I don't care how you wrap your oppression up. You are not oppressed. And if the senator really wants to test that theory, just ask him to switch places with any black man in this country and get in a car and drive down I-10 and hope the state troopers don't pull you over.
That's right.
That's how you know you're oppressed. Because, see, when we drive down I-10, our hearts start beating faster when we see the lights come on.
That's right.
Because we might not make it home.
Ronald Green.
Your heart don't beat the same if the police get behind you, because you have the power of your office and the privilege of being a white man. Stop it. That's why I don't engage in those sorts of conversations. If he need to know the definition of racism, tell him look it up. And I can guarantee you the pages will be white and the words will be black.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, catch that one later, but yes.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And as a matter of fact, his white privilege is the reason why he's actually where he's at today. He owed one of his wives $180-something thousand for child support, for back child support that he did not pay for years and years. And had that been a black man, or like my grandson, who they claim had owed $5,000 on a child that he was taking care of, he wound up getting killed in Iberia Parish Jail. So had he been a white kid, that would have never happened. But
we know this, right? So that's why you don't engage in those kinds of conversations, because they want you to keep thinking in circles. You understand what I mean? They want, now we're arguing with him, we're talking to him about the definitions of words. So we're not really focused on the issues of why the words even exist, right? There's the fabric of this country is rooted in racism. And racism, critical race theory tells us that it's embedded in every facet, right? Whether it's institutional racism, right? It could be environmental racism, educational racism. The reason why black folk could die on poisonous soil in New Orleans is because of environmental racism, right? The reason why black children don't have good schools in New Orleans is because of educational racism. There's nowhere in the world, I'll give you an example, where dogs could be done an injustice and PETA won't make the whole country stand still for the dogs, right?
that's right.
And you mean to tell me that the NAACP and all of what it's supposed to stand for can't make the world stand still when a black man is lynched, not by rope, but by a white man's knee? And we watched it happen.
Oh,
It's racism.
yes, indeed. Caller, you have a question or a comment? You're on.
Yes, I got a comment from Miss Ashanta Wyatt.
Dr. Wyatt.
Yes, I will give her doctor credit because she deserves it.
Thank you.
Okay, because she's the first person that I will agree to call a doctor because she know who she represents. And what all you said is so perfectly right on the head. And look, I heard you say that you gave your opinion of your facts. You know, what you said was not opinion; it was facts in your life, and we got to stop using their words to so say not offend them. And I'm not saying that you didn't do it on purpose, but I'm saying is your life is your facts because what you're saying is so true. And our biggest thing is that we always believe we need to be in their voting. We need to be in their kind of religion. We need to be under them as our handlers. Like black people can't do nothing without white people, so say, being on top of us. And you didn't talk too much about the black politicians who really are the ones that are selling the black people out. You know, making us feel that we got to be complicit to what the white people want us to be. Mm-hmm. You know, they tell us come vote for them, and yet still they still go and misrepresent us by telling us, oh, we signed off for it because we thought it would benefit the black neighborhoods. Mm-hmm. And you talked about white privilege. They know the white privilege they got is because of their whiteness. Mm-hmm. But what I like about what's happening right now is that white people who voted for Trump are now seeing that he is the criminal that he have become. And his 34 accounts of convicted felons and can run for the highest law in the land and win, that goes to show you that democracy, like Malcolm X said, is truly hypocrisy to black people. And that if we don't get out of it, that we are going to be the ones that's going to be the hypocrites to ourselves because our children deserve better. Mm-hmm. Our children deserve a future with the truth.
Okay.
So keep speaking on what you speak,
Caller.
But don't let nobody edit you.
Okay, all right. Because I know you do have a show where you could...
Yeah, my show come on at 5:30, and today's topic is redeeming our image through our children. That's what they don't want us to see, that our children... To notice that they got positive black people.
Okay, all right. Let me go ahead and just.
I can answer. You want me to respond?
Yeah, I want you to respond. I also want you to respond about voting. Why do you feel it necessary for us to vote?
So to his point, and that's why I wish he would have attended Kwanzaa, because I did talk about black complicity.
He
right?
attended it. He was right there.
I absolutely talked about black complicity, and I do believe that. A lot of what we're enduring and a lot of the strife that we're sitting under right now is because a lot of us are complacent and complicit in the oppression of our people. I believe that. Mm-hmm. I believe that representation matters, but I think the saying has to elaborate more. Representation does matter, but representation matters more when the person representing us isn't also serving the agenda of white supremacy. Right? So if you are living by white supremacist ideals, but you're showing up as a black man, then you don't serve the black community. If the agenda or if your funding comes from people whose job it is to keep us in our place. So I talk very deeply about that on all fronts. And, you know, when I was asked to speak at Kwanzaa, I did what I was asked to do, right? And I think voting is absolutely important. I don't think that it does our community any justice by us espousing the belief that voting is not important. Mm. Because whether you vote or not, you're voting.
That's right.
A non-vote is a vote, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what we have to understand. That is why the governor is the governor today, because black folk decided that it wasn't in our best interest to go to the polls. Mm. And I've not seen a gubernatorial race not go to a runoff. It's jarring to me. It should have at least gone to a runoff.
It should have. It should have.
But for me, I think this is the danger in what the first principle of Kwanzaa talks about. This is a threat to unity. When we have black elders encouraging black youth or the masses of black people to not engage in your civic duty, right? It's your duty. It's no different than making certain that you go to the store and buy the food to take care of your body. You go to the polls to vote to take care of the humanity of your community, right?
Yes.
Because whether you vote or not, the decisions are going to be made
Right.
for you.
That's right.
Laws are going to be enacted against you. At least you should have a fight. At least you should put up a fight. And to me, voting is a sacred duty that not only did people sacrifice, because that's the word, to give us the right to do it. You know, there are people who will argue to say that they gave us the sacrifice to be able to decide if we want to do it or not. And you will be correct. But even if you don't vote, you're voting. I need people to understand that if you take the day off, somebody is still going to get elected.
That's right.
That person is still going to be in charge of your daily quality of living. And I would dare say the governor is more detrimental to your quality of living in this state than the president is for the country.
That's right. That's right. That's
He has
right.
a more linear impact on your life.
Mm.
And we took the day off.
Yes, indeed. Is this a 1 hour show? Can we do 2 hours? No, but Liz Morrell, what is her?
She's the attorney general.
Okay, that heifer was at the state capitol for SB2. Now you had Black Voters Matter, NAACP. The room was full because they were able to get in touch with us to let us know we need to go over there. She was trying to pass that bill SB2, whereas children can get charged as adults.
Yes.
And they were so mad that we had that many people there. Look, this is another powerful show. It's hot in here. I don't know if it's my menopause or
No,
what's
it's-
going on, but we also
Oh, we have to go already?
Yeah, we also have one of our poet that's there, Alex, with spoken word, and you'll be able to see and feel one of the poet right here in person. And
Dynamic.
Look, yes, where Alex coming at? Okay, all right. Come on, my beautiful sister. Yeah, so this is like nothing is pre-script. You know, we don't have nothing written down. We just talking from the top of our head. We just maneuvering.
So while Alex is getting ready, let me say this too about that. That people have to understand that the now governor was positioning himself for that bill when he was the attorney general.
That's right.
You don't remember the pilot he did in Caddo Parish and New Orleans and Baton Rouge talking about crime. But he was only laser focused on the predominantly black communities to do a pilot study on
right.
crime.
That's right.
They played a long game. This is not something that just started when he became the governor. She was the attorney general. She's the attorney general because he's the governor.
That's right.
Like this is
Yeah.
collusion.
Yeah, and he's right there from St. Martinville, and as crooked as all our doors in St. Martinville with what they've been doing.
We just have to unify.
We just have
We
to
have to be
unify.
one band, one sound. That's it. For the greater good. We got to put our personal feelings aside, and we have to unify. And we have an agenda. And anybody that's running for office and asking for our vote, we slide them our agenda. If you can't get with this, we can't get with you.
Yes,
That's it, and that's all.
and that we will challenge you. We
Absolutely.
will challenge you.
Holding you accountable, there's love in that.
Oh yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And we're getting ready to listen to.
Yeah, because I got to hear this again.
Poetic Justice. And look, you see, I had brought this just to show you how 99% of people that's running things are white men. You know, 99%. That to me is a serious problem because of the simple fact they want to tell you what we can and cannot do with our body.
Well, because they have mastered the art of being unified around an issue. It doesn't matter if they agree, because you have to realize that they didn't vote. They didn't vote for Trump as much as they voted against Kamala Harris. That was the whole reason. You know what I mean? So let's just be clear about that. They don't want him either, but they surely didn't want her.
Yes.
So they did more voting against her than they did voting for him.
Yes. We cannot take any more calls as we winding down, and so caller, you just have to call us on part 2.
She is funny.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Unplug it from what?
Yeah. Okay, we ready. And we want to thank everybody that listening. Make sure you catch us on the website. Make sure you
I
catch
don't want
the
nobody
re-air.
beeping while she's trying
Make
to-
sure. Share it. We ready. Share it.
We breed slave mentalities. Bound
Do what to do? Yeah, I did.
poetic. We breed slave mentalities. Bound by the limits of our cultural capacity, we've been broken down into systematic subsets. A virtual conglomerate fouled by codes and sequences, we've left our natural land to burn. Replaced cowbells and roosters with tweets. We've reprogrammed our destinies. Falling from our heritage as we upload our souls into a cloud that looms over our freedom. The scent of oppression, fragrance in the air. Binary chains looped around our wrists, vining through our thoughts. They highlight our imperfections so that we become familiar with being broken. Disconnected from reality. Embedded in a hierarchical social status, i.e. registry, we bow our heads and worship every approved news feed trending down our timelines. Building false identities of self, worshiping fictions, accepting unread terms and conditions that restrict our right to unplug ourselves. We are not victims of this system. We lack the ambition needed to deal with our own reflections. Hell, we can't even like our own Facebook status. Quoting the fatality of the minute like Bible verses. Data linked with Trojans, we in Cold War in ourselves. Believing all that is seen and followed by the masses. Snapping each moment, extending vines like tethered nooses. We have learned to lynch ourselves. We've committed to global suicide. Thank you. I have been writing poetry since I could read and write. My mother is a poet. Yes. Yeah.
Young to this beautiful woman that you are,
Thank you.
and it's really outstanding. It's really outstanding.
Thank you.
And I would just like to say, I might become a poet too.
Lyrically inclined poet.
That's a good one. Margie, you want to? Okay, so we want to. I don't know how many minutes we have, but I know that the rest. 5 minutes. Okay. Alex, why don't you grab the chair and just join us for the next few minutes? Because we're coming from your point of view as a youngster and everything like that. Which, yeah. And what's so good about having black people, you see us with our array of colors, and black folks can rock colors. So as a young poet, I've always heard you speak, but in your poet you have a message. You know, you either make us dive deep into it, and you make us try to uplift us from it. But hearing you, it does wonders.
Thank you. My mother taught me to be a critical thinker, analyze things with a higher level of understanding. You know, we should be researching our history. We should be punctual and factual, you know, when we're relaying a message, not to just spit out nonsense. We should know what we're talking about. And our history is important to who we are. You know, we should know where we come from so that we could make the path for where we're going without making the same mistakes. We think that's important.
Yes, yes. And your name, Poetic Soul,
Yes.
it just defines you, but it don't put you in no box. You know, that's what's so good. And how you came up with Poetic Soul?
It was my AOL screen name.
Oh, and what's it, AOL?
America Online,
The dial-up.
the dial-up.
The dial-up internet.
Yeah.
Oh, dial-up internet. Okay. Well, yes, that's good to know. And we got to embrace our youngsters. You know, she should have a standing ovation. And really, the
I gave her
poets.
one in my mind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
you snap for poets.
Oh, okay, okay.
There's a story behind it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
there's a poem for that.
Yes, indeed. Again, we know this is a spectacular program. We know that our goddesses, our queens, our sisters, our powerful spokesperson, they come fully loaded. They come fully loaded. Director, can you tell me how many more minutes we got? 2?
Yeah.
Oh, remember, every day is Black History. Every day is Cancer Day. So those of us that need to have a mammogram, sometimes the only way they're going to find out what you have is through that mammogram. Men, y'all need to get y'all prostate check. Y'all need to get y'all prostate check regular, because too many of our Black men are dying behind that doggone disease. And go ahead.
I also want to extend our deepest condolences for the victims of the terrorist attack that happened in my city of New Orleans. The death toll is rising, and there's still people who are trying to identify their loved ones. And so I would be remiss if I didn't, my body is in Lafayette right now, but my heart and my mind is in the city of New Orleans. And so I know when I get home, it'll be even a heavier lift. But I want to commend the NOPD and all of the members, the first responders, everybody who gave of themselves to be there in service of the people who were injured or the people who actually died as a result of the terrorism that took place there. So our hearts and prayers are with them.
Yes, go ahead.
I think it's important for our people to actively find a coping mechanism. You know, we have been exposed to, we experience a lot of trauma, and we need to be able to express that trauma in a healthy manner. So whether it be through poetry, music, or sports, whatever, find some way to express your emotions. Don't hoard those feelings. You know, let it out. It's very important that we do that.
Yes, indeed. And we are out of here within 30 seconds. Remember, ladies, when you're listening to music, you make sure that you're listening to the music with the rights of, like, the Bob Marleys, the what's his name? God dog it, the summer guy, David Oliver. He want to write you a love song.
What's this? We need